Alrighty then, today we're having a look at this old girl. She's getting a big job done today. She's getting a head gasket, getting the head resurfaced. Anything that needs to be replaced is going to be replaced. Alright, so for this job I'm going to be doing it by myself. Like, Dad's not going to even touch it. He's just going to be guiding me and, you know, just letting me do it so I can learn how to do it. For the first job, for me, is going to be taking the fuel tank off, the water pump, thermostat housing, and the rocker cover off. And that's it, because Dad wants to inspect the rocker arm assembly, and he wants to check that the return springs are good, and he wants to see how out of whack the valve lash adjustment is. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to take the battery out and the fuel tank, but that's not hard because there's obviously the clamp bolt there, and then a hose, fuel line, and 2 bolts because it's held in with 2 bolts for some reason. I don't know if me telling you sizes of stuff is much use, like on the fuel tank, is much use, because, you know, it's 70 years old. It's gonna have a few different sizes on it than when it came from the factory. But, you know, stuff like head bolts or head nuts or whatever it's got, I think it's head nuts, that'll be original, because you don't want to mess with them. I'm going to leave the bonnet on. It may get in the way, but it'll just, hang on, which way am I going? That way. It'll just provide a bit of protection against rain and anything that might contaminate, you know? You get what I mean? This is really the first big mechanical job that it's had. You know, there's been the new radiator and water pump, but that's nothing compared to the head gasket. So I think all the things that we've replaced on it is the hydraulic control valve, thermostat, fan belt, generator, distributor, coil, grill and T-piece, hoses, starter motor, fuel lines. Last time I put this fuel line on, it was a bit of a wrestle, but you know, your boy's gotten stronger. Right, is it full? No, it's not. It's fine. That's opened it right up. Bit of a fuel leak apparently still. Alrighty then, so I've got that thermostat housing, the top of the thermostat housing off and the thermostat out. It's a bit rusted, but you know, that's what you'd expect for a 71-year-old machine. That's a bit pitched down there, but judging by the thickness, that won't matter too much. It's got a good thickness around there, so that's all good. Now we'll have a look at this, and you know, that's rusted, but a wire wheel and it won't hurt. And you know, that looks bad, but it didn't leak when it was on, so I'm not going to worry about it. Thermostat, that's new, we don't have to worry about that. But put all that in a plastic bag and we're good. So now I'm working on getting this throttle linkage out, because the control arm, it goes through the thermostat housing. So I've loosened the nuts on the U-bolt off, and I've put it in idle, so that spring's at rest now, so it won't be tension. Might just have to pop that off, but actually no, I'll just leave it. It'll be alright. Now these those ball points, they eventually wear out over time just with use, and that, you know, that's to be expected. That one's had the old loop wire around it tricked onto it, so you know, this one's obviously a bit worn out. Now we could do the professional thing and replace it, but we're not professionals here, are we? Oh, the Son and the Holy Spirit, get off my fucking throttle linkage. I can work on getting that off without having that in the way. There we go. Get that off. The bottom bit of the thermostat housing is right to come off now. Yeah, that should be 1/2 inch. Yep, if I'm correct, and I am. That wasn't on there real tight. That might be why it's leaking. Which is pretty good for a resto. It's not the best resto, but it'll do. Not the worst resto either. It's pretty good actually. Yeah, it's a 50-50. It's good if it's going 50 kilometers an hour, which it will never do, or if you're standing 50 meters away. Right, will that come off now? Should. Yep. There we go. Alrighty then, so I got the generator off. That was a bit of a struggle because the belt is a tad too short. So I'm gonna get these bolts off the front of the fan now. That holds the actual fan and the pulley on to the water pump. That's a 1/2 inch on my tractor anyway. And then I can take the water pump off when that's off, and then rocker cover. Actually, I might do the rocker cover now. Decided. So far everything has been either a 1/2 or a 9/16. So I've had luck with that, and this one seems to be a 1/2, so I'm not complaining. Jeez, look at all that dirt coming through from that inside that thread. That's fine. Completely fine. Nothing to worry about at all, my friend. Alright, I've got to be careful not to drop a lot of shit in this, because we're not doing a full engine rebuild, we're only doing a head gasket, so there we go. So I've just taken the rocker cover off, and that's the sight that greeted me. It's just a bit rusty. Clean it up when it's all off, and give it a bit of love. Not too much there, it'll get used to it. Anyway, so that's all I'm gonna do here today. Because Dad just wants to have a look at them. Boomerang. No. Then you can take that pulley off, being careful of the radiator fins. But preferably, I don't know about all of you, but I like when I don't strip the bolts, I can reuse them. Not have to get out with the spicy ratchet. So sometimes the stud comes out with the bolt, but that doesn't matter as long as it's out. But this one, it seems to be that the nut only wants to come out instead of the stud. That it'll be the same case with the head bolts, but you know, just depends on the condition that either the nut or the thread is on the bolt. I'm losing life here. Right. There you go, that's your water pump. I'll just take that hose off because we're going to need to take it off anyway because it's connected to the head. There you go. Easy done. So from memory, the nuts on these consisted of 9/16 and 1/2. breaker bar, I mean a pole, but never close enough. Did it move? I think it did. Yeah, that one's coming out with a stud. I know where it is, that one. Fuel's dripping. It's one of the last things you can do. That was open. That was the one with the loose bolt. Other than that, that's alright. We'll reuse them, then you. Well, this is what we got done today. We got rocket cover off, fuel tank off, manifolds off, generator off, water pump and fan, thermostat. Yeah, so they're all organised so we don't lose anything. So that's top of the thermostat, bottom of the thermostat, water pump, nuts and bolts and all that. That bit of the throttle assembly, the nuts for the rocket cover, they can go in there. Breather pipe, and then they're the nuts for the generator. Put that on top of there, that there, and then nothing else can blow away. Lovely. Alright, well, better close you up, old girl, I reckon. So it's the next day. It's just poured down rain and destroyed our driveway, but that's alright. I'm just taking the rocker cover, the rocker arm assembly off. It's just 4 nuts, they're 4 nuts, yeah, they're 9/16. They're quite easy to take off, but yeah, see, that just loosened that right up. So that's good now. Ready to take them off. Oh yeah, that whole stud came out. That's alright. Yeah, just that nut's coming out. That's alright too. Yeah, but it just lift that off. So that hole there, that's where the oil goes through from the oil pump and lubricates all the rockers. They seem fine. I'll just have to give them a bit of a wire brush to get all that rust off. But push rods out. Hey, these ones don't seem to be bent. We'll roll them down a bit of wood later. That one's not bent. That one's not bent. That one's not bent by the looks of it. Now they may have a small bend in them, but we'll figure that out later with that bit of wood. That one might be. Yeah, that one is, for sure. There we go. Well. Jesus Christ. Isn't it now? Jesus. So that's where the water pump goes into. But, it's not in bad shape. It's alright. Nice. So I'm about to take the head nuts out, but some of the studs might come out with it, but that does not matter. So give him a shot.
the radiator. Cost me $270 bloody dollars.
Now you're going to need somewhere to put that thing when you remove it, Bob.
To what?
The head.
Well, we'll probably have a look at it first, but I think all that stuff needs to go on the floor inside the cab of the truck. Multiple man effort. Bloody hell. What do they make this out of? Cast iron or something?
Oh, don't put your fingers on it.
That's crazy. Oh, bores are not too bad. There's a bit of a lip there.
Just sit it on the
What do I
tyre.
put this
Come on.
in?
Sit it on the tyre.